So today I will be making the Metal Earth Fokker D-VII. So this is what it looked like after it was finished. So let's get started. So right here I'm just showing you how it's useful to use some clippers to clip off some of the pieces out, because sometimes they're really tricky just to like wiggle themselves out and you don't want to bend them. So you should use those. They'll come in handy most of the time, especially the small parts. And then after you get it out, you're going to want to wiggle it just like this, and it'll fall out really easily. So now that I got all three of the pieces out, I'm going to basically just fold them into a square, like in this diagram. And see, just like that. Tabs are in that little hole. And then you're going to give it a 90-degree turn. And tweezers will do this the best. I found a good technique, and you basically grab the little thing like so. So on this part, you're just gonna bend those little tabs 90 degrees and then flatten it a bit more so it looks better. So after you are done building those two square pieces for the wings, what you're gonna want to do is put them in the wings. And basically, what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna grab your wing and there's little tabs on the top, and you're going to put it in those. But be very careful. Watch which side of the wing you put it in, because there's a side where it's kind of shiny, and then there's a side with details. You're basically going to want the one with the detail side facing upwards towards either the ceiling or wherever you are. Basically just the sky upwards. And then after that, you just bend them and then flatten them so it looks nice. So this is what it'll look like after you put those two little squares into the wing and make the frame. And then after that, you're basically just going to want to bend it 90 degrees and flatten it. And then after that, after you're done putting it on both sides, you're basically just going to want to set that whole piece aside, because now we're going to start working on the body and the propeller and the seat. So after, you basically just bend one of those tabs a little bit. What you're going to want to do is grab the tweezers like you can see in the video, and then squeeze that tab down just a bit more so it's more flat. It'll look nicer, and you really can barely even notice it once your plane's done. And then really watch out for those, like, I guess, little thin lines. And yeah, should have told you that early, but it's a good tip, so there you go. So after you're done with the bottom wing, you're just going to set it aside like I said earlier. And after that, you're going to grab the next three pieces, which is that one, which is the seat, I guess you could say, and then the propeller. And then with the body, it's going to take up a bunch of adjusting and readjusting. Make sure you do not fold the back piece all the way. And then a good tip for that piece right there is do not fold it all the way. I learned that the hard way, because after I connected the bottom, basically what I ended up having to do is pull that piece back out a bit, because there's a tab on one of those edges, and you're gonna have to put it somewhere between the bottom. So I'll show you as soon as I'm done with it, and then we'll start working on the plane. So I skipped the part where I show you how to bend those, but basically you just bend the propeller 90 degrees. After that, you put it to the frame, or whatever you want to call it, like that. And it won't go all the way down, because there's two pieces that are supposed to stick out a bit, and that's the frame, or the body, whatever you want to call it. That's finished. I did a pretty good job on it. And then after that, basically you're going to want to do the same thing to the back, but only fold it about halfway, because you're going to put in the fins, or the back wings and stuff. So after you're done putting in the propeller, like I said earlier, you're basically just going to bend the back part about halfway, because in there on the back I think there's 4 or 6 tabs that you're going to want to put some other pieces in, such as the back wing and the top of the wings, and yeah. And then there's this one piece I should be showing pretty soon. Let's see, that piece exactly. You don't want to bend it in half. And because if you do, you might end up breaking it, and it's a pain. Plus, you're not going to need to bend it in half, only ever so slightly. And you're basically just going to want to play with it until you get it into those tabs on the top. And then for those two side pieces that are like sticks, I guess you could say, sticking out, you can pull those up, not all the way, because those go into the side wings, and I'll show you as soon as I'm done with that part. So after you're done putting in those wings like so, it's a good thing I told you not to fold that thing in half, because you might have broken it if you did, because if you can see, it doesn't fold all the way in half like there. You see, it doesn't fold all the way in half. That's why you're not supposed to, and you just adjust it, and there's tabs there. And then the side wings, they're kind of tough to put in, so I basically just, what I do is I put the stick tabs, or whatever you want to call them, put them in first, and then put it into the frame. And then after you're done doing that, you're basically just going to want to adjust the frame until you're comfortable with it again. And that's basically it. Needle nose pliers may come in handy, and then after that, you're going to want to build the seat, and I'll show you in a second how I did that after I'm done putting it in. So basically how I got the seat in is I bent it in a little bit more than 90 degrees, and then because I closed off that thing, it was really hard, but basically you're just going to have to kind of play operation and put it into the tabs and then fold them after that. And then after this part, we're going to start working the bottom wing, so that, what do you call it, we can just be done after that. So I'll show you what it's like to build that piece. It's basically just like the first one I did. So these will be the last 4 pieces you will have. The wing, the 2 wheels, and I guess the spacer in between the wheels. And in between the wheels, there are these 2 tabs. You're going to want to put that piece into those. And then after that, you're just going to want to connect that all to the wings. Good tip is on the wings, there's 2 little slits for the tabs to go into. Put it in the ones that are closer to each other, or more inwards. After, I'll do this part and show you as soon as I'm done. So this is what it looks like after you put the wheels in, and I guess I'm going to call it the spacer in. And basically what you're going to want to do after that is grab the body you already made, and those 2 little tabs I just pointed to. You're going to want to bend them out about 90 degrees or so, and it'll take some adjusting and some patience to get them in between the bottom wing, and you're just going to place them in there. I'll show you as soon as I'm done with that part. So this is what it'll look like after you're done putting it in, after some slight adjustments, and now you're going to want to put on the top wing, and you are finished. Last tip, make sure you watch which way you put the wing on, because if you put it on towards that way, facing towards you, if you look at it like this, you're going to look pretty dumb. Put it on the other way, and that's basically it. After that, just put the little pieces through the tabs and you will be finished. So this is what the model looks like after you're finished. Very nice and neat. If you want more videos like this, I'll be doing them maybe weekly. Subscribe to my YouTube account, like the video if you liked it, and thank you for watching.